This was the worst goddamn episode ever. Please don't do it again.
Hard Rock.
I don't actually have duty on my face. Like, there's one thing you can be sure about the top 20. There is no duty anywhere.
Hard Rock.
Schlad. Schlad. Is that how you pronounce it, Jimmy? Schlad?
It's always a no!
Hard Rock.
You're an asshole is what you are. And a moron. And probably an idiot.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
Oh man, what is up, everybody? It's time for another edition of the Hard Rock Lunchbox, here only on Thursdays. And I just realized that I did order a new mouse, but it has not arrived yet. Thank you, Amazon, for that. Guess when you're too busy counting all the money in the world, you can skimp on sending certain radio shows their mice. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? We are in August, which means this technically might be our anniversary show. Honestly, I'm too busy to know, so I'll look it up. And if this was indeed our anniversary show, I'll do something next week to celebrate our anniversary. But I know that in August is when I first started the Hard Rock Lunchbox, which means that we are probably, if not today, by next week, starting our... This will be our 9th year of this stupid show, and honestly, I think that's enough. I think it's plenty. But thank you for that applause. Jimmy, do you think it's enough?
It's always a no!
Yeah. Think I was tired of that yet? Not yet. Oh man. So, how's everybody doing? Those of you watching at home, this will be the top 20. And if I look extra white, glowy, pasty, sickly is a good one. It's because I'm trying something a little bit new. I know I've been saying it for a long time. The top 20 just looks awful, sounds awful, and is awful. So I'm just trying to make it seem a little bit better. So I was actually noticing on some other podcasts that they do like a closer shoot. So I've got that. I've got the camera angle like a little closer. It's definitely more direct. I'm going to do something about the shine on the banner at some point. I'm probably just going to pick up a fabric banner and see how that goes. Or just trash. I might trash the banner altogether because I don't honestly need it. I can do like a background in the... I could fix it in post is basically what I'm trying to say. Fix it in post. But it is closer up. I've got a light source from the front here. And I'm just going to give that a whirl and see what happens. We could watch this next week on Strangerhood TV and be like, this was the worst goddamn episode ever. Please don't do it again. By the way, if that's not the bumper for the show, I don't know. I don't know what would be. I feel like we could just stop looking after that. Anyway. So, what do you guys want to do? I feel we'll start with a little housekeeping, right? As I mentioned, the top 20, which is this right now, if you're watching it. It's the Hard Rock Lunchbox if you're listening to it. But the top 20, the one from last week, is out this week because that's how we do it. Like I talk to myself in the future, but from the past, it's very high tech. I'm actually wearing a Quantum Mechanics t-shirt here. I don't know if you can see this. It's Schrodinger's cat, wanted dead and alive. Anyway. It's a lot like that, but like nothing also like that. So last week, blah blah blah. Last week, yeah, working through my pseudo profound thought in real time, and I discuss how there are basically two camps of people. One of them is full of a-holes, and then I also talk about Mario Kart, Proper Ramen. It's a pretty good episode. Check it out. It's on Strangerhood TV, much like all other stuff on Strangerhood TV. It's always on Strangerhood TV, so you can check that out. Bacon is My Podcast has a full interview with America Part 2, the band. Also, in Craving Strange news...
It's always a no!
Nope. We already did that song, but the lyric video for I Run Away is out, so go check that out. I saw that it existed roughly 30 minutes ago, so I'll be checking that out after the show. Craving always does a really nice job with their lyric videos, so that'll be cool. In Revel 9 news, we're actually expecting a new lyric video soon, because I finally got around to doing it. Yay! And by doing it, I mean paying somebody to have it done, so that'll be coming up. Also, we are... have to get around to releasing the video for Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. It is a very cool live video, and Jake from Fall of House Productions did a great job on it, so we're going to try and do that. I feel like I've got like a shadow here. It makes me look like I got like duty on my face, but I don't actually have duty on my face. Like, there's one thing you can be sure about the top 20. There is no duty anywhere. Most of all, not my face. But we'll be releasing that soon. It's all done. I literally have to pick a time when we can, like, premiere it, and most of us can be online to, like, chat with anybody that's interested, because since it was at Mulcahy's, and since it was the live show at Mulcahy's, a lot of people that listen to the show are in it. So, yay for them. That was really cool. Blah, blah, blah. My interview with Jackie Raven is going to be airing on her show at some point in the coming weeks. I'll let you know about that. Rebel 9 shows We Are Quiet until October. It's kind of the way I like it. And that's going to be that. So welcome, everybody, to the Hard Rock Lunchbox and the top 20 only on New Regal Radio. It's only live on New Regal Radio. That's 99WNRR.com. Chat is doing good. We're discussing the location of Maryland relative. Yeah, Maryland is actually not part of the South. Although, if you've been there, it's certainly got a southern attitude, and not the friendly one, more like the racist one. But I apologize, Maryland. And the reason I actually know that, it was the battleground of Gettysburg. Gettysburg is in Maryland, and therefore the fight during the Southern insurgents, where the North basically won, and the South failed. All the traitors in the South lost that war, and that's why we don't fly your Confederate flags anymore, right? I know, it's crazy. And if you think I'm just randomly bringing that up, I'm not. I really have stuff to talk about today, unsurprisingly, and they both revolve around stupid people. I know, it's like almost never happens. I really do want to get back to talking about band nonsense, but honestly, I don't have a lot of band nonsense. Rebel 9's pretty quiet in terms of playing live. There's a lot of bands that just really aren't doing it, and I think I'm seeing a tremendous amount of mediocrity out in the music world, and I don't like it. Like, I mean, it's definitely something worth talking about. I don't think I'm going to waste the top 20 on it, but like... Also, I should let everybody know that I have been experiencing physical ailments over the past week, and one of those ailments, or the main ailment, actually required me to pop a wannabe Benadryl last night, and I don't do a lot of medicines or medications, so like when I do them, like it's not like I have a tolerance for them, so if I sound really groggy, that'd be why. So I basically have two things to talk about that involve stupid people and people that don't really kind of understand what's going on. I do want to give a big shout out to the people of Kansas, who I normally don't really care about so much, but the people of Kansas voted to keep their constitutional line item, amendment, or whatever, protecting their right to abortion in a big upset to the people that want to control women and all the choices that they are generally allowed to make as human beings, or were before Roe v. Wade was overturned. Kansas, if you don't know, had a very sneaky ballot initiative that was going on during the primaries, because Democrats generally don't vote in primaries. Democrats tend to vote in general elections, where Republicans tend to vote on cause issues, so they show up for the primaries. So they were trying to get in the Kansas state constitution is an allowance for abortions. I believe it's up to 6 weeks. It might be the 15. Again, I'm really groggy, but they do have exceptions for rape and incest, life of mother, and emergency situations, which is becoming more and more of an issue as the Justice Department filed suit against Idaho this week for basically violating the Biden administration executive order that says that any federally funded hospital has to provide emergency abortions if they're required, or they do not receive any Medicare money. And Idaho basically said no, and Biden administration said, okay, see you in court. So Idaho is going to lose on that one, but it'll be fun to watch. But yeah, Kansas voters overwhelmingly came out to support their constitution and deny the Republicans in the State House the option of passing the bill that had no exceptions for rape, incest, or life of the mother. They just wanted to shut down abortions entirely because all life is precious, of course, until it's born, especially if it's born in Kansas. So yeah, good job, Kansas. Probably the last time I'll ever say that. So I want to talk about stupid people, and the lead-in is basically the whole Brittany Griner thing. So Brittany Griner is a WNBA star. She's an incredible basketball player, and she was off playing in Russia, and she got arrested in Russia because she had vape cartridges with, I guess, like hash oil or something in there. Something she wasn't supposed to bring into Russia, and honestly, she should have known better. She says she just accidentally brought it because she's medically licensed, because a lot of athletes will take like cannabis oil and stuff like that. They'll take that for inflammation instead of pharmaceuticals, which pharmaceutical companies don't like. That's one of the main reasons that cannabis oil and weed in general is legal in so many states. It's actually very it helps with inflammation, it helps with relaxation and stress and stuff like that. So if you're an athlete and you can take something that's actually grown in the ground and soothe your joints without taking like, Advil, and what's the one that'll kill you? Like you take one a day. It's like the UPS guy, but it'll like ruin your kidneys or something. I forget what it is. But like, yeah, you don't want to take that. I'd rather just smoke a little hash oil and feel a little bit better. So anyway, she brought it to Russia. She shouldn't. She got arrested for it, and they tried her today, and she was sentenced to 9.5 years in a Russian jail. Now the upside is we're going to be able to like do some negotiation to get her home. And that's great, but we couldn't do anything until the trial happened. So now the trial happened, she's been convicted. We'll probably work something out to get her sentence commuted. We're probably going to have to give up somebody in our jail of Russian descent or origin or whatever. But I want to talk more about that in a minute. But that's the lead-in to actually this particular story. And again, this is all about stupidity. I'm not saying that Brittany Griner was stupid. I'm talking about our half of the American reaction to her incarceration in Russia is stupid, and that should be no surprise to anybody. However, a couple weeks ago, I had to replace the lock on my front door. I have had this lock, I don't know. I thought it was a lot longer. I thought it was like maybe 20 years, but apparently not. Maybe like 10, 15, which is fine. Like front door locks last a long time. I know we have a particular problem here with anything on our front, because we have direct southern exposure, so we are dealing with intense heat. Like I can literally sit on my couch and hear my door expand in the heat because it is that hot. If I had known that when I bought this house, I think I would have much preferred to have that in my backyard. But I can't pick up the house. I mean, I could. I suppose I could pick up the house and turn it, but I'm not gonna, because I'm just not gonna. So anyway, I'm a big believer in, I think it's pronounced schlage, which is schlage. Is that how you pronounce it, Jimmy? Schlage?
It's always a no!
Yeah, I think it's pronounced schlage. It's S-H-L-A-G-E. Schlage? Like, I don't know. Schlaggy. I like schlaggy. We can go with schlaggy. I think it's schlage. Anyway, those are the locks I use. The locks I've always used because I've always used them. Probably like my first lock, and I just stuck with it. And they work. They work really well. They're America's #1 lock company. I mean, there's like Kwikset and a couple others, but like Schlage is just the most prevalent. And what's important when you change locks, like unless you want to drill back into the door, if you stay within the same company, you're generally staying within the same confined diameters and metrics of it. I mean, there's a standard for like door locks and stuff like that, so other locks will work, but to use as much of what's already existing as possible, I just generally stay with the same company. So I've had this Schlage lock forever. I've had them all over my house, and typically the way they work with a keyed entry is that you use a key on the outside to get in if it's locked, and on the inside you have a little switch, right? Vertical, or like usually vertical is open, and horizontal means it's locked, right? That's super simple. Like most people know how that stuff works, right? And most people are familiar with doors like that. It's not, like the button that you use in like bathrooms. Those are privacy locks. This is like a secure keyed entry, security lock. So for as long as I remember, you had this lock, and if you open it to go outside, and then if you close the door locks behind you. Right? That's what you want. So this iteration, every single time you turn that lock now, on the inside. You turn the door handle on the inside, the door unlocks, which I find incredibly annoying, especially after however many years I've been alive of having locks work the correct way. So now, every time I turn this, even just to look outside, if there's an Amazon package or somebody shows up or I go get the mail, I have to remember to lock the door again because it automatically unlocks. Now, some of you might think that's really convenient, and I'm going to point out that if you find that convenient because it's too hard to not lock yourself out, then you're part of the problem. And I found something today that totally bears that out. There's actually, because there's, I guess, like chat groups or whatever, internet groups for everything. There's a chat group for this actual Sludge doorknob problem, right? This guy puts a post up and calls it Sludge doorknob locks me out. Now, I would understand, like, if you're this dumb of a person that maybe the lock itself might become sentient and try and lock you out. Like, I think we can understand that possibility, and I wish that lock well if it's true. It's probably not. So he actually posts, I have a Sludge door lock from my house to my garage. When the door is locked and I turn the handle to take the trash out, the door opens but remains locked. I find myself locked out of the house often. You're an asshole is what you are, and a moron, and probably an idiot, and probably all three of those things. That's not in the post. That's editorial commentary, and that's allowed, right, Jimmy?
It's always a no!
Anyway, is there a way to set these locks so that when the knob is turned to open from the inside, it will unlock and stay unlocked? Dude is asking exactly for what I detest and hate and is ruining everything. But fortunately, this dude, George, wrote an essay-sized explanation basically calling Jim an idiot without saying he's an idiot. So I'm going to explicitly say that Jim's the idiot. So, dear Jim, that was the design, and really, the door was unlocked at all times from the inside, but always locked from the outside, unless you turn the lock button vertical, which unlocks the outside for entry. This door never locked the inside going out, which was very convenient. No buttons to lock if leaving. Right. If you lock your door, your front door is always locked. Right? We can agree. We can agree that that's what it does. The lock was designed to be vertical for both sides unlocked or horizontal for door locked from the outside. The inside is never restricted or locked to exit. Right? That's important, right? There's a fire, an emergency, you want to get out. That hasn't changed. This allows easy and safe exit, but not entry. This is a great lock for doors to the outside world, as in your front door. You can open the door to see who is outside, but if you want to keep that person out, all you do is shut the door. The person on the outside cannot get in, as it's always locked when the turn button is horizontal. But for Jim, who locked himself out going from the kitchen to the garage, this would be the logical setup to turn the lock button vertical during the day, leaving it unlocked while working in the garage. It unlocks entry. At night, you turn it horizontal to the lock from the outside. This was the method for Sludge F-Series locks until recently. Customer service said people were locking themselves out. This is what the button on the old style allowed. Turn it vertical to unlock in all directions. Then when security is required, turn the lock button horizontal, which locks entry but allows safe exit without need to touch the turn button. But the forums allowed a small group of people that locked themselves out because they forgot to set the lock to be unlocked for entry or just left the goddamn door open a little bit while you're outside. This is not the fault of the lock, but the user. It goes on to, just blast this dude. Right? But this is not the fault of the lock, but the user. I know this seems stupid, and I'm just using it as an analogy for a larger problem. We are now doing something that is inherently dangerous. Or actually, I think he said something like that. Actually, the old Sludge locking method was the ultimate locking if you use any logic. Outside is always locked. And if you desire, you can make it continuous unlocked entry. But Sludge decided, because of an internet forum thread of people getting locked out, so they changed it to a new method, which works just like a bedroom or a bathroom lock. And it works fine on bedrooms and bathrooms when you leave, because generally out of that room, when you go back to the bed, you want privacy and then push the lock. The new method leaves many older version users to think the door is going to stay locked when we open the door from the outside. Right, so this is from the inside. So this is the problem. My front door for the first week, and because we've now rectified that problem, we don't have this issue anymore. But for the first week was constantly unlocked because it is absolutely ridiculously stupid that you just turn your front door, just even touch it, and it automatically unlocks. Does that sound like a safe feature to anybody? Do you know what the primary purpose of a front door keyless key entry system is? It's to keep people out. And if you're negating that by the simple act of turning the doorknob each and every time, you are basically taking away everybody else's security and safety because a few fucking morons can't figure out how to use their front door. And I so apologize if one of those morons is listening right now and is offended, but maybe you should be able to figure this out. It's a very simple thing. Keep your keys on you. Have a key somewhere outside that only you know about in case you do lock yourself out. Leave the door open just a little bit or turn it to be unlocked. It is super simple, but because so many absolutely stupid people cannot figure this out, my family had to suffer in lack of safety. Does anybody else understand what this means and why this is happening? We are so dumbing things down for the stupid that it's now becoming dangerous for the people that can actually do this job that we call life. That's what's happening. People are so stupid that the rest of us are now suffering. It used to be just annoying that people were stupid, but now it's actually threatening my way of life. And I don't know why we require these people to still live here. If you're that stupid that you keep getting locked out, honestly, you deserve it every single time. And I don't know how many times you need to learn that lesson to you come up with a solution, but taking the option of safety and security away from the rest of us is not it. Because now smart people are going to get killed instead of the stupid people that I guess are going to get locked out and have to forage around outside until somebody smarter than them with a key shows up to let them in. And I didn't even get to talk about the Brittany Griner stuff, so I'm going to have to talk about that during some other break in the show. But we as a people need to stop catering to the stupid. There is no way we're going to keep advancing as a society and as a people. But these are the ones that are driving these decisions. Just remember that. Every time you see something stupid that's going on in the world or in government or in society, it's because people cannot figure out how to use their front fucking door. And these people are the problem. They are always the problem. They will continue to be the problem. And we, as the rest of those people, need to understand that and hopefully, eventually, get rid of them. And that is the top 20 for today. And those stupid people, absolutely going to be the downfall of us all. And that segue is on point.